الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأهل بيته أجمعين. Welcome all of you in our second episode of the Tajwid lesson, inshallah. At the beginning, before everything, I would express my apologies for the setting. We know the current lockdown, we're actually been stuck of using lots of logistics. So whatever at home, we try to make do. Hopefully, inshallah, we can be benefited even little, inshallah. Uh, Again, the last one, in the introductory session, I told everybody that it's not going to be very depth or very sort of very long discussion in every topic because we're trying to cover as much as possible in the Ramadan because we have the 2 days a week, inshallah. So we have literally 3 weeks left. Uh, Try to finish up as much as possible on the main part of the tajweed, inshallah. We started off last week the Makharij al-Huruf and rules of Ta'awud and Tasmiyah. What we going to do, inshallah, at the very beginning, we'll try to recap the last lesson very, very quickly, and then we'll go into our tonight's topic, inshallah, on Makharij al-Huruf. We'll try to finish up today the Makharij al-Huruf. Again, one thing I experienced in teaching the letters of the Arabic letters, the Makharij al-Huruf, when it's more of a practice thing. It's if I explain to you, there's so much into detail about the mouth, and I find very often the people get confused. The wall, so what's the part, this side, that teeth, that, because when we teach in the classroom setting, this is where we teach that all the teeth. What's the name of these teeth? Which one is ثناء عليا? Which one is رباعي, أنياب, ضواحك, ضواحين, ضواحك? This all the teeth, and we have the frame, and we teach them individual. That letter when it comes, it should touch this teeth. When this comes, it should touch this line of the teeth. So we explain in a physical shape of the teeth, all the letters. But the end result, what I experienced, it's not the knowledge that where does the come from, where is this ta come from, where is this salt come from. It's the essence when you can say it properly. So I will try to at least encourage the viewers, even what I explain here, if it's too much in terms of the term thing, the difficult terms that you find difficult to absorb, at least when we practice, try to read with me and try to figure out if it's the same sound or not. So it could be, inshallah, little bit of helpful in terms of get rid of if you have any issue in terms of the tajweed. Why I'm stressing so much on the letters itself, because this is the part where most reciters have the issue. Okay, and I mentioned the last week when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the Uratil Quran Tartila. The Tartil itself, the Ali explained, is one of these Tajweed al-Huruf and Ma'rif al-Huruf. Tajweed al-Huruf, this is the major portion of Tajweed. It depends on justice of the Huruf, the letters, if you can say correctly. So the Makharij al-Huruf has every letter for, like the bird has two wings. Okay. Likewise, every letter has two sides. One is makhraj, another is sifat. Okay, so that both have to be combined to say a letter correctly. If I just say the letter correctly from the right place, then ta, da, or this is not enough, because it has another the side or another identity has to be with it. It's called sifat al-huruf, and inshallah we'll come to that in the following episodes. So what we talked about in our last session started off with A'udhu Billahi min Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and we said we can start in two ways. One is we start the recitation from the beginning of the surah. This is one scenario, and another is we start of the recitation or and continuing from one surah to another surah. So this is one scenario. So let's start with the first scenario. I said if we have if we count this one, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and surah. So if I say like this, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق. It says all separate. So this is one way when we started off recitation from the beginning of the surah. So they're all acceptable. And next scenario, we read all of them together. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق. This is all together. This is acceptable as well. And another scenario is first two ta'awud and tasmiyah separate and surah separate. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق. This one acceptable as well. But if I say this line أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق, the scholar said this is not recommended, i.e. we shouldn't read that way. We shouldn't read the Bismillah attached to the surah, except Surah Al-Fatiha, because there are some scholars of opinion Fatiha, the Bismillah is a part of the Fatiha. We're not going to go into that discussion. But just in general, A'udhu Billah separate and Surah and Bismillah is not very recommended. Now, just the second scenario, when we continue from one surah to another surah. Okay, so if I say وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, this all separate. This is fine. If I say وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, this is allowed, but again the scholar said it's not good way to recite. Always they discourage this. So join everything together. I said no, don't read like this. It's not very recommended. But if you do it, it's nothing wrong. Okay, again, just it's not recommended. And another one is وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. What we've done, I joined the surah with the Bismillah, okay, and keep the next surah separate. This is not allowed. One is not recommended, the one just before I said, and this one is not allowed. It's not permissible because it sounds as if Bismillah is a part of the previous surah. So you shouldn't say وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Not like this, okay? And another is وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. There's nothing wrong, okay? So one thing we know explicitly is impermissible. If we continue the recitation, then you should not add the last ayah of your previous surah, the Bismillah, and separate the next surah. Okay, so this is not allowed. Make sure this. So let's start with our the topic again. The makharij al-huruf, the letters, or the pronunciation of the letters. We talked about in our last session the qaf and kaf. Again, if you can just see, I'm not a very good artist, though I'm not sure that we can see clearly. It's if I put the tongue like this, okay, for instance, this is the tongue. It has four parts in Tajwid. First is one is called hafatul lisan. Hafatul lisan. And then this part is called aqsa al-lisan. And then we have that part, wasat al-lisan. And this part is called tarf al-lisan. طرف اللسان, so وسط اللسان, وسط اللسان, أقصى اللسان, and حافة اللسان. So these are the four parts for this, if I can just more clearly. Okay, so this four part, we need this when we say the letters. So we'll talk about this again. uh, don't have to remember these names if you are not familiar with these names, because main essence is we will practice the letters, inshallah. We started off from lisan. Started first the huruf jawfiya, the uh, al-jawf, that we said there's three sounds come out. This is this huruf maddiya, we call it. This is the first مخرج الحروف. Second one, we learned حروف حلقي. We said همزة ها عين ح غين خا حروف حلقي, 6 letters. Then we started off the lisan letters. And lisan is itself, it comprises the most letters, almost 18 letters in lisan. So lisan covers almost what you say the 2/3 or more than 2/3 of the Arabic huruf, almost 2/3 of the Arabic huruf that it comes with the lisan. So this is why lisan might take it long to cover all the letters. So we started the of and kaf. The sisi start, the lisan start from there. From, if you open your mouth and you see the little tongue hanging uvula, okay, and after lehwi in Arabic we call it. So this is where, near to this, when tongue touch the palate. On another word, if your extreme back of the tongue, if they touch the palate, as far as you can go, or if it is go further down, then it's going to the throat. So it's basically just reaching the throat part. You stop there and touch the palate. So this is called okay, and then ka. This is what aqsa lisan. Aqsa lisan, aqsa is the far end of the lisan. Okay, and then after that it start adna al halq, wasat al halq, aqsa al halq. Okay, so not the throat, not the throat bit, just starting of the throat where the end, the lisan bit. This is where the qaf stands. So qaf, and then further down towards the mouth is ka, kaf, off, kaf, off. And then you come further down, right in the middle of the tongue. Okay, right in the middle of the tongue. This is, if you think the middle of this here, it's called wasat. Okay, wasat al-lisan. So wasat al-lisan, where the tongue in the middle, if this is touches the palate. Okay, ja, sha, ya, ja, sha, ya, jim, shin, ya, jim, shin, ya. Now, jim in which this is just hit the palate. Urge. If it is in second form, then it is hit the palate. This is called urge. Urge sound. Urge. Okay. It's we'll talk about when we go to the sifat. Is one sifat called qalqala. So this is called ja. Now, shin, it doesn't actually touch the palate completely. Okay, it's such a narrow gap there that the air flows out. Okay, the gushing out. So this is one of the sifat is called tafashi. Okay, it's air gushing out this way. So shh, whole mouth can feel it. Asha, asha. So urge, ash. Very thin gap when air just flows out. Okay, and the sound is making ash, ash. Okay, so we have wasl lisan, jim, shin, and another letters from here is ya, ya. This ya, remember, it's when it is with the haraka, because we said before in our last lesson, huruf al-jawf has the ya as well. But this ya, when this ya is sakin and letter before kasra, is al-jawf letter. Okay, for instance, sijil, sittin, wattin. This ya is different from the ya mutaharrik, or ya with the haraka, or ya with the fatha dhamma kasra. Okay, this is different from the ya sakin letter before kasra. Okay, for instance, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Rahim. This tongue is on the rest. It's nothing to do with the tongue here. Okay, but when I say the ya with the haraka, this is why the haruf wasat al-lisan, or the tongue starts acting. Okay, when the tongue is in action with the ya, it goes up. On tongue touch, not completely touch the palate, not as close as the shin, little bit further the gaps. Okay. So for instance, يا أيها الذين, or يريدون, or ياسين. Okay. وليهم. Okay. إن وليي الله الذي. Okay. So you see this tongue again, just to recap, because sometimes this is the problem. We confused with this ya with the huruf jawf, al-jawf, ya, or huruf al-jawfiyya. Okay, this one is different from this. Again, how jim is touch the palate, shin is not touch but very close, and the air rush out, and ya is further gap from the shin, not touch, not very close, little bit more gaps. So yasin. Okay, and in terms of the shin is ash, ash sound. Okay, when we said khashi'ah, khashi'ah. Okay, and the jim is faraj, buruj, wal fajr. Like, okay, jaa, idha jaa. Okay, so this all they call huruf shajariya, and that's from the wasat al-lisan. Okay, before I go to the next letter, I was just trying to say that word, the letter I'm going to talk about is Dad. And this letter, we don't actually give much of the time on it, because Dad is the letter, it's only in Arabic language. There is no other language has this letter. This is why some say this is the Arabic is the language of Dad. Okay. So because this dad is one of the most difficult letter I see. So whenever I see the beginner brothers or the reciter they try to learn, I just say, okay, give time on the dad, but don't too much on it, because it's very difficult. Very few people can say the dad correctly. Okay, if I have to say very simple form, okay, make sure it should resemble with the dal. Okay, this is a problem we very often we say. So wal arda, no, wal ardi. This is sometimes the dad we unknowingly make it to the dal. Dad has its own shape. And in terms of the definition, if you want to say, just those who could understand, for them I'll just tell you. If you see the tongue has, if you divide into three parts, is half here, half hafatul lisan, the huruf hafiya. Again, this was said. If you have three part of the tongue, ideal scenario, you should touch both of your tongue, the edge of the tongue, the hafa, you called this edge of the tongue should touch the molar. Okay, so here is the tongue, both tongue should spread out, touch that molar, your molar teeth. Okay, your back part should uprise, and this one is downrise. So it's here, now very few people can use both of the side. The scholars said the very easier option is due to one side. So whether you can say left side of your tongue or the right side of your tongue. Okay, and it's easier for the general people to use the left side. This is what the scholars' opinion. I think is if you check any of the books of Tajwid, you can find this is very encouraged every time. Use the left side. Left side is much comfortable, say the word correctly. So this left side, again, let me explain a bit slowly. So tongue has, if you divide into three parts, the second 2/3, okay, towards the throat, the back 2/3, when it touch the molar, okay, and whole tongue should uprise, the back of the tongue to uprise, because one of the sifat called itbaq. When we learn the sifat, we'll talk about this. So itbaq. So say this, okay, this is called lod, okay. So lod. So if you tongue this side, uprise, touch the molar, all the molar teeth on the left side, and the middle be uprise, this down. You can say it takes longest area in the tongue. When you say the word, it covers the big area of the tongue. I'm pretty sure most of you might be confused about this broad explanation, but since it's a Tajwid lesson, I just explain. But remember this, just try to touch the left part of your tongue, the side or the edge, to the molar and say broad, inshallah. That should be all right. Uh, Now, if we just come further down, we have la, la, ra, and noon. We have lam, noon, and ra. This is where the tarful lisan kicks in. Okay, the edge. This is the again the side or the top of the tip of the tongue when they touch the side of the teeth. And I don't see anybody has any issue. To be honest, when I say that the la, anybody, almost of language has the letter la. Same as na. Okay, so most of the language have these two letters, so it's not a very big issue. When you touch the tongue, the side of the tongue, touch the gum of the teeth, front teeth. This is la, na, ra. They're from tree. Okay. It's I've considered this harf al-tarf here. There's some say this one. Uh, and we have again sa, za, sa. One thing you need to remember, you see, if you notice, I don't go by the alphabetic order, alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha. The tajweed learning of the letters is different. It goes with the region. Why is this region from? What the letters come from there? What the letters come from there? And there is some wisdom in it, because when we talk about the tajweed rules in the future, or idgham. So this waw will idgham mutaqabilain, mutaqaribain, mutamathilain, which are the letters from same place, which are close by. Okay, so this will be helpful. This is why we say why I'm not saying after alif I don't talk about the ba. Okay, that's the reason is this. This is what we go in region wise and try to remember what are the letters come from the same region. So far we learned from halqi letters, haruf halqi, hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain, kha. Okay, and maddu, haruf maddiya, or the al-jawf letter, e, u. Okay, and then we learn of and kaf, of and kaf. Remember this? This is from one region. Then we learn jim, shin, ya, haruf shajariya, jim, shin, ya. Then we learned la, ra, na, lam, ra, noon. Okay. Then come to za, sin, sad. Za. You see, this is what the tongue it touches the sana sufla it called. When it touches the bottom two teeth of the thing, and then just whole of the skull of the teeth and air come out. Za, za, sa, sa, za, sa. They're from the same place. When also another one is dhal, la, tha, the, la. Just again top of the tongue, edge, not like complete edge, just edge. When touch the teeth, and you see if you can notice, my tongue little bit come out. So this tongue should come out. If it is the teeth, edge of the teeth, then it should come out, not inside. This is where I see most people have the problem. They say tha, no, the, no. Look at this. My tongue, my nail bit of the finger will come out. See? Okay. So it's tha, the, wa, tha, the, wa. Okay. So it tongue should not stay inside. It should come out. It's going to be easier. Tha, the, wa. Okay. So we covered qaf, kaf, and we also covered jim, shin, ya, lam, ra, noon, dad, and we covered sin, za, sa, tha, dhal, dha, and ta, da, ta. They are from the same place again. Ta, ta, da. You see, just his tongue just throughout the skull and the gum of the teeth when it's da, ta, da. Okay, very simple. Okay, sometimes we have the the brothers, those who have problem with this ta, they say ta sound, okay, or ta, okay, والسماء والطارق الطارق تبت, okay. That's the problem. I think those who have the short tongue, they have this issue. They say ta. They try, instead of reaching the teeth, they stop somewhere in the middle. So it's a ta sound. Okay. It has to go right across the skull of the teeth and the gum. So this is why ta, ta, da. When you had the T sound, there's no T sound in Arabic at the very beginning. So you have to make it clear. When you have your sounds and the toe sound, that means you are not actually reaching the teeth. Okay. So this is what the lisan. We have old the 18 the the letters in lisan we got. So we have so far حروف الجوف, and then we have الحلق, اللسان, and الشفتين. الشفتين is الشفتين. So this is الشفتين. It has 4 letters. Ba, Mim, Fa, and Waw. Okay. So, in our lips, it's have 2 sides, wet part and the dry part. Our lips have 2 parts. Again, wet inside and the dry part is outside. When we say these letters, this is what we need to know where this letter actually stands. Okay. So if the 2 wet part lips mix together, then it is ba. Ba, you see? Ba. When it is 2 wet part. Okay. And when the 2 dry part mix together, ma. So 2 wet part is ba, ma. Now we have sometimes the brothers, they say tabbat yada is not correct. You said tab. We make the 2 dry part together. It's supposed to be tabbat. Okay. Or sometimes we say, we have the researchers amma man istaq. No, it's not amma. It's amma. Man istaghna. Okay. So one thing we need to make sure, you might think but it sounds is the bado, but in it's so scientific that the language is in terms of recitation. In some part or in some point in recitation, you don't feel comfortable saying the letter from the wrong place, because they say, oh, I can't say this correctly. It's because though at the beginning you think in one place you say the letter sounds correct, but it's not actually from its place. Okay. So it's always good to say the letter from its right place. Okay. For instance, sometimes you see the la is maybe just tongue to and you might say la, but in one place in the Quran or in the ayah of the Quran, you might find difficult to say lam from this place. Okay. So this, remember, the ba is again, our lips has 2 sides, wet part and the dry part. When 2 wet part mix together, it's ba, and there's no difficulties at all when you say this. I'll say rather more difficult is ba. Ba is more difficult. Ba, very simple. Mim, when you make these 2 dry part together, okay, the outside 2, mi, ma, amma man istaghna, man ذا الذي ممن وأمم ممن. Okay. Now come to fa. Fa is when you the bottom wet part of the lips, okay, it's this one inside the lips with the bottom part, it touches the ثنايا عليا or the front inside first. When it touches the top 2 teeth, it's fa. So it's nothing to do with the top part of the lips. It's just bottom part of the lips, but the wet part. So bottom lips, wet, the inside part, when it touches the front upper two teeth. So it's fa, afwaja. Now if you say afwa, af is not correct. And this is how it happens. I've seen sometimes we say afwaja. When you say afwaja, then you will be problem with the sifat. This is why sometimes when you say the letters, we think it's from the right place, and it's absolutely fine. I can say this. But when we start with the sifat al-huruf, it kicks in. This is what the problem starts. So afwaja, one of the sifat is fahaf is hams. F air should be the flowing, okay, or rikhwa. This problem, when if you say with the right the dry part of the lips, then you can't say this letter correctly. So fa comes when it is wet part of the bottom lips touch the top two the teeth. Fa, fa, f. Okay, and the wow again very simple. Round lips, just a wow. Sometimes we have the reciters wa. They say wa like this. It's no. It's complete round. Wa, wa, not wa. Wallayli ida wa. No. Wallayli wa. Make sure wa when it comes, it's a round shape. Wa. Okay. These are of shafatain, and the last of the makharij al-huruf is al-khayshum. Khayshum, what we call gunna. Okay. Anytime with the gunna, we need the nose. Very simple. Okay. Now, when the mim with the shadda or nun with the shadda, okay, mim mushaddad or nun mushaddad. This is when it comes. So it's mim and nun shadda. So this is what the gunna comes. If you can see that mim mushaddad and nun mushaddad, these are called the gunna letters. Okay. Mim has, as I said before, we have separate makhraj. Remember, it's shafatain ma. But when the mim with the gunna, okay, we say the mim from there, but the nasal sound comes from the nose. It's very simple. عما يتساءلون. والنون إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. Okay, so we have this and an, right? Anytime they come, the gunna is from the nose. Very simple. It's no complication at all, right? So we learned this. With that, we actually come to end of the makharij al-huruf. We covered 29 or 28 letters. Some say 29 if you do the ha or a separate, or it's 28. So this all 28 letters we covered in makharij al-huruf. Again, just to recap, these 5 places where we pronounce all the letters. One is al-jawf, then al-halq, then al-lisan, then al-shafatayn, then al-khayshum. And again, al-jawf is oral cavity or the emptiness of the mouth. This part, okay, where it comes from. Anytime we elongation or alif sakin, letter before fatha, ya sakin, letter before kasra, waw sakin, letter before dabba, qala, qila, qalu. This all this part is al-jawf. Then we have al-halq, okay, which is called throat letters. It has 6 letters from there. It's hamzaha aqsa al-halq, ayn ha wasat al-halq, ghain kha abna al-halq. Okay, so this from halq. And then we have lisan from off all the way to all the letters, so 18 letters from there. Of, kaf, ta, dal, ta, sa, za, sa, jim, shin, ya, dad, lam, ra, nun, the law. This all are from al-lisan or the tongue. And then we have الشفتين, the full letters from there. Okay, ba, mim, fa, waw. And we have one more, the khayshum, where when these two mim and noon, they come with the shadda, the nasal part is from the khayshum. Other you can't say the gunna from anywhere. Anytime the nasal touch comes, you need to say it's from the khayshum. So this is very important that we have to know the exact place where the letters come from. Then it will be easier for us to say correctly, inshallah. One sometimes the brothers and sisters ask, how can I practice the letter when I practice? One way, first you put the letters haraka, okay? So you say ba, bi, bu, ma, mi, mu, like this. Ta, ti, tu. Haraka, fatha, dhamma, kasra. And then you put the sukun on the letter and the letter before fatha. So ab, at, ath, like this. And then you put the shadda on the letter and before is fatha. So if you say like this, ab, at, ath, ajja, aha, akha, adda. Okay, this is hadda. And when you say one way, first is put the haraka, all the three haraka, ba, bi, bu, ta, ti, tu, tha, thi, thu, like this. And then you put the haraka, the sukun on the letter, and letter before fatha, ab, at, aj, ah, akh, ad, ad, ar, ak. And then you put the shadda on the letter. So ab, at, atha, ajja, aha, akha, adda, adha, arra, azza, like this. So when you more practice, inshallah, when the tongues get flexible, you can easily say this letters. One is very important thing that when you read, okay, don't listen very fast reciter. Sometimes the brothers ask who I listen to this qari or this sheikh, I want to read like this. But they are in the peak of the mountain and you just started how to walk. You shouldn't just straight to copy them. Try to listen the reciter, those who read slow, and you can listen every single letter. Okay, I always advise maybe Sheikh Ayman al-Suwaid or Sheikh Hudayfi. But there are a number of reciters those who are very slow that you can pace up with them. Otherwise, if they're in very fast pace, you can't keep up with them. Okay, so make sure you read the slow reciter and listen to them and the practice with them, inshallah. So we will not take any further, inshallah, today. So hopefully, inshallah, we'll continue our next episode, the more topics. Again, this purpose of the show is just to brushing up our knowledge, and maybe if we can attain some new from the what we are not known already, just to get some more information. Main thing is the practice. Tajweed is not about the knowledge, it's about the practice. So if you understand anything, you should practice by yourself. And if you don't understand, again, the show is not possible to the interactive lesson, which is the ideal scenario. Tajweed has to be learned from intact. What you can say to the teacher or the brother you read to or the sister read to, and she or he can correct you straight away. Listening. Okay. Here is I can say, but I don't listen to you. This is not the right scenario. Try to sit with someone who you trust and read and check your letters, more importantly. Brothers and sisters, up to there today. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.